Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the New York Buddha Dharma Center. Let's begin with a bow. Tonight we're going to begin with a review of meditation instruction. So, I think first we'll start with the chair, because that's very easy. And the main point of posture, we'll start with posture, is to have a straight spine. And to this end, it's good if your knees are lower than your hips, or at least no higher than your hips, whether you're sitting in a chair or on a cushion. And if your knees are higher than your hips, the cure for that is to get something under your bottom, to raise it up so that the knees are at the level of your hips or lower. If you're going to be sitting in a chair, I recommend using a cushion like this. You can see it's wedge-shaped. And the virtue of this cushion is that it will allow you to sit in a chair without using the back. It tilts your hips slightly forward so that you can have a straight spine without using the back of the chair. Absent this cushion, you probably will need to use the back of the chair, and that's fine. Another point of posture in the chair is that your feet should be flat on the floor, which mine are. If you're sitting in a chair that's so high that your feet don't reach the floor, then you need to put something under your feet so that the soles are horizontal, flat. Your arms are just comfortably on your thighs. Nice straight spine. You could feel as though the top of your head is pointing up to the ceiling, which means your chin might be slightly tucked. And then we'll come back to the rest of it in a little bit. Now, if you're sitting on a cushion, Mike is going to be demonstrating posture on a cushion. There are a number of different ways to dispose of your legs. Mike is using what's called the Zen novice posture. You can see that the shins are flat on the floor and the ankles more or less opposed. But you can also sit Indian cross-legged style, or if you're more flexible, you can sit in half lotus. And there are very few people who can sit in full lotus, but there are a few around. And then there are other postures which you can experiment with, such as using a bench with your legs tucked under you and so forth. But this one that Mike is showing is an excellent posture. And you can see that his spine is very erect, top of his head pointed up to the ceiling. And a way to work with your hands is that you can drop your arms just to your side and then just bend your arms from the elbow and drop your hands right on your thighs, just as he just did. Straight spine. And then you might do a quick body scan, whether you're sitting in the chair or on a cushion, and check to see that your legs are relaxed wherever they are. Especially your lower belly. We tend to hold tension in our lower belly, so if your lower belly has tension, you just let it relax. And then you might check your neck and your shoulders. You can rotate them a little bit. If there's any tension there, release it. Another place we tend to hold tension a lot is in the face. So check your forehead, and if there's any tension there, let it go. Your eyes, your cheeks, your mouth, and if there's any tension in those places, just let it relax. Your eyes are open and directed down at about a 45-degree angle, more or less. There's no strict rule on this. Your gaze is natural. You don't go swimmy, nor are you hyper-focused. Your breathing is completely natural. If you've just climbed a flight of stairs, your breathing might be rapid, and that's fine. If you've been sitting for a while, your breathing might become shallow, and that's fine. You just let it be what it is. If you wish, you can raise your eyes to the horizontal, and again, your gaze is very natural. You're not swimmy, and you're not hyper-focused. And that's posture. Thank you. So, your meditation. You bring your awareness into the room, this place and this time, and you let it relax into this space. Let it fill the room. It's very easy. Nothing in particular is the object of your awareness, and everything, whatever arises. There are objects of sight, sound, probably not much smell or taste, bodily sensations, the feeling of your bottom on the cushion, hands on your thighs, whatever, and mental events which come and go. All these things, in Buddhism they're called the six knowables, the objects of sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and mental events, objects of mind. And your awareness is just completely relaxed here in the room, in the space, with whatever objects are appearing to it from time to time. You might be aware of the color of the floor, of the sound of my voice, of the sensation of your hands on your thighs. All these things come and go. They appear and disappear like images in a mirror. Like these words, as they come out of my mouth, come to your awareness and then disappear. And you just let your awareness relax completely into this space, into this present moment. And we'll just do that for a minute. When thoughts arise, you just see them. You don't have to do a thing with them. There are basically two kinds of thoughts, little ones and big ones. With the little thoughts, you're right here in this space, aware now, and a thought goes across your mental landscape like a bird going across the sky, and then it's gone. Big thoughts take you away, and after some period of time you realize that you are in another place and another time having a conversation with a person in your imagination. And as soon as you're aware that you were dreaming, then you're not. You don't do a thing with it. Let go of any self-criticism. It's not useful. There are no shoulds and shouldn'ts. You just see it, and then come back to the breath. The breath rises up through your chest, your mouth, your nostrils. It exits your nostrils and you can feel it as it does. And it goes out into this space that we're in and dissolves into it. And at the end of the out-breath, there's a pause. The in-breath is just the turning point. The main thing is to be aware of the out-breath. So you breathe in and then you breathe out and the breath comes up. It exits the nostrils. You can feel it as it does. It goes out into the space of this room, dissolving as it goes. And at the end of the out-breath, there's a pause in which you're probably not thinking. Then in and out again. We never depart from this space of this room. The breath just goes out into it. So the breath comes up through your nostrils, exits, goes out into the space of this room and dissolves there. And at the end of the out-breath, you just pause for a second or two or three, whatever is comfortable. So let's just do that for a few minutes with the breath. You're right here in the room, completely aware of this time and space and place. And in the middle of that, the breath comes up, exits your nostrils, goes out into the room, dissolves into the space. That's what the breath does. And at the end of the out-breath, there's just a pause. And then again. So if you've been thinking, no problem, you just see it. Let it go. And the breath comes up, exits your nostrils, goes out into the space and dissolves there. And here we are. Whatever thoughts arise, they're all just fine. They're just thoughts. There are no good thoughts, no bad thoughts, no profane thoughts, no holy thoughts. They're all just thoughts. And when you see them, you just see them, and then let them go. Come back to the awareness of this space in this time, with the breath coming up, exiting your nostrils, going out into the space, dissolve, and here you are. So we're going to just do this for a few minutes. So just be aware of your thoughts, see them, let them go, and relax back into this space of this present moment, this time. This is what is real. Thoughts are your imagination. And you just relax into this time, this moment, this place. Let your awareness rest here in the room. Anything and everything is included. There is nothing that is an interruption. Not the sound of my voice or someone walking in through the door late. It's all part of your awareness of the space. And the breath arises in the middle of it, exits your nostrils, and you're still right here in the space of this room. And it goes out into the space and dissolves there. And then there's a pause, a rest. Main thing is not to be hard on yourself for thinking. That's just another thought anyhow. You just see it. Do absolutely nothing with it. And then you come back and watch the breath as it goes out, the sensation of it as it leaves your nostrils, and it goes out into the space and dissolves. And we're all right here. Buzzer going off like that is just part of the awareness of the space. It's not an interruption or a disturbance. So if you've been thinking, just see that. Don't be critical of yourself. Or if you are, just see that. Let it go. And come back to the awareness of this room with your breath coming up through your nose, exiting your nostrils, going out into the space and dissolving there. And here we are. So whatever you're thinking, just see it. It's gone. Relax into this present moment. The breath comes up, goes out into the space and dissolves there. And there's a pause at the end.